Hi folks, thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Greg and this is All Aboot Candles. I'm your self-proclaimed Canadian candle connoisseur, and today I have a review for you of iced dragon fruit tea from Bath and Body Works. This is the version that they have in their White Barn core lineup. This is a repurchase for me because I really like it. And so there's a newer version that looks like this with a funky lid. And there's a newer version of it out right now in this sort of last wave of summer 3 candles. They've put it out again. And I'm glad to see that it's becoming popular because I really like this candle. And I don't usually love drink fragrances, tea fragrances, fruity fragrances from Bath and Body Works, but this one really works for me because it's not too sweet. The scent notes on it are tropical dragon fruit, vibrant green tea lemonade, and sweet coconut milk. I think those are really interesting scent notes because there's a lot of things in there that we regularly get from Bath and Body Works. Instead of a regular tea, we've got a green tea lemonade. Instead of just coconut, we've got a sweet coconut milk. And it definitely speaks to sort of the subtle difference between this and some of the more aggressive and really top heavy tropical fruity fragrances that we get from Bath and Body Works. This is actually a very mid-range candle. I feel like I've always felt like there's something a little bit salty about this candle as well. You know how sometimes, how salt enhances the flavors of something? I'm mostly talking about food here, but I mean in drinks as well. I remember watching this Modern Family one time, and Manny liked to put salt in his chocolate milk because it would make it taste even more chocolatey. And I feel like there's something going on in this candle, a briny saltiness that is sort of almost catapulting this into a really strong, fabulous tropical fragrance that is really quite outside of the box as far as tropical fragrances from Bath and Body Works are concerned. I really like it. I'd say that the top note is that the dragon fruit, but it's not a super sweet or top heavy candle, but the first sort of sniff impression that you get from it is that dragon fruit coming through, which isn't too sweet, and it's a touch citrusy and a little bit zesty. And then the mid-range of this candle is that green tea and the lemonade, a little bit more citrus, but a very strong green tea presence with that saltiness that I was just talking about. I get a fair bit of salt from this. The bottom of this candle, you really do get that last sort of whiff of a really smooth, subtle, and slightly watery coconut. And it just is a really nicely balanced candle, and I enjoy it a lot. And also, it performed exquisitely. And this is probably the third iced dragon fruit tea that I've burned in the White Barn format, in this White Barn line. It's got thin core wicks on it and white wax. And so if anything, the problem that you have with this candle is that it burns too hot and too fast. I feel like this one has to be kept to a 2-hour burn, which does annoy me a little bit, but I would prefer that over a candle with the thick ropey wicks that dud out on you and don't give you enough oomph. I mean, these have to be kept to fairly short burns. The wicks really need to be trimmed. I mean, after I burned it all the way down to the bottom, see how tall those wicks still are? I mean, the entire thing had liquefied down to the wick nickels, and so there isn't that much fragrance left in this one. But yeah, I mean, strength and throw. If we're talking performance, strength and throw on this is a very solid 7 or a 7.5, and that is in my more open area. Put it into a medium to small area, and this is throwing it at an 8 for strength and throw, and it's a nice 8 or a nice 7. It's not a really overpowering smell, but it is very, very present and very noticeable without being like too sharp and cloying. It's just really, really nicely balanced. And like I said, this had thin core wicks and white wax. And when I first saw that this new version came out, I believe that this is the first time that this candle came out in a jar that wasn't the White Barn core line. And so when I saw this come out online, I thought to myself, oh my God, it's got colored wax on it, which probably means it has the thick ropey wicks. Have they ruined my iced Dragonfruit tea candle? But then when I got to the store and I actually looked at it, I saw that it was just the glass that is colored, and it is still, in fact, thin core wicks with white wax. I ordered this one online, and this is just an example of why I really don't recommend ordering candles online, because clearly they got jostled around a lot during the transportation. Ugh, this is gonna bug me. I'm gonna have to clean this out after I'm done recording. Anyways, so the new versions don't seem to have tinkered with the formula at all. So obviously this is a repurchase for me, and I highly recommend it as well. I just love this one in the summertime. Now there is something about that slightly salty green tea note that I think might rub some people the wrong way. If you're a really big fan of more straightforward, fruity tropical fragrances, this one has a uniqueness to it that you might want to smell in store first before you buy it, because I can kind of picture this candle not being for everybody, but it is certainly for me, and I'm gonna burn one more before summer is over here. I love it so much. Gosh, it's so refreshing, but it's also got a little bit of a stank to it, you know? And that's really how I do like a lot of my candles. Oh, it's gorgeous. Anyways, yeah, it's on the floor right now, and I highly suggest picking one up. Thank you so much for joining me today, folks. I really appreciate it. If you could like this video, if you liked it, subscribe to my channel and leave me a comment. That would mean the world to me. And until next time, my dear candle-loving friends, let's burn some candles and bitch about it. Thanks, folks. Bye now.